Hey everyone, it's Craig and Shanoa with howtopest.com here. And this is our episode of Bourbon Bugs. And today's topic is bed bugs, which Craig knows a lot about.
I don't know if I know a lot about them, but we have, as you know, been doing bed bugs for 20 plus years. So we thought we would just start these series with things we know a little bit about and try to help you out there that are having an issue with them. Bed bugs is obviously going to be the first topic of bourbon and bed bugs, two things that Shano and I know a lot about. I don't know if it's good that I know a lot about bourbon, but today's bourbon of choice is Shanoa's bourbon.
Woodford.
Okay. So yeah, we just we're going to sip a little Woodford here and talk about bed bugs. And if you have anything that you'd like us to talk about in future episodes, just go ahead and let us know, and we'd be happy to do that. I'm going to leave it up to Shano to open us up, and we'll just start going through some topics here.
So let's talk about what a bed bug looks like. As you can see here, bed bugs are reddish brown in color, and before they've had a blood meal are extremely thin, making it very easy for them to crawl and hide in the tiniest of places, like behind an outlet cover plate or a light switch cover plate. Bed bugs are about 4 to 6 millimeters long, so to put it in perspective, you can imagine the size of an apple seed, as you can see in the top picture.
Some facts. Give them some bed bug facts.
Yeah, some facts about bed bugs. Bed bugs, they need a blood meal to reproduce. That's a fun fact. Kind of like a mosquito, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you are the blood meal.
Mm-hmm.
So if they cannot nibble on you when you're sleeping or sitting in your sofa, couch, whatever, then the female bed bug, she cannot lay those eggs. Anything you want to add to that?
Not really.
They the females, they do lay what, 150 eggs
Mm-hmm.
in their life cycle. So that's kind of impressive. I don't think Shanoa can lay out 150 babies in her lifestyle. But moving on. So we wrote down some notes here. They are now finding, actually, they thought that they could only survive for a couple months at a time without a blood meal, or even just survive in general. But as of about 2 years ago, they're now finding cases of bed bugs that are surviving a year and a half to 2 years with no blood meal and just hanging out and waiting for the next person to come along that they can nibble on and reproduce. We've Shano said we've been doing bed bugs a long time. We started out using chemicals on bed bugs, which, if done right, can be a very effective way of doing it. We later transitioned into doing heating, and heating is a very effective way to take care of bed bugs, light infestations, all the way up to your heaviest infestations. But once again, it's a thorough process, no matter which route you go. And then, of course, there's fumigation. And the fumigation it's a gas route, but it is a chemical. It does pump through the walls. It's basically like when you treat the house for termites, when you tent it. It's the same thing. It's going to kill anything that gas interacts with.
Why do people get bed bugs? And how do you get bed bugs?
So Shano gets asked that a lot because she's part of the office staff. So she takes a lot of those phone calls. You can get bed bugs in so many different ways. Before we got into doing this, we might even pick up something at a yard sale. And now I'm so anti-furniture at yard sales. Yes, you just do not know what you're bringing home. But you can bring them home with, you've had kids at school bringing them home in their backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a process of elimination. It's kind of like detective work you're asking. And really all that's doing is trying to prevent you from getting them in the future.
We had a person go to a yard sale and buy a wheelchair,
Oh,
and
that's
the
right.
wheelchair brought him into the house and then infested the whole house.
That's right. That's right. So, like we were saying, you can get them anyway. There's no rhyme or reason how you're bringing them home. A big one are hotels. And here's a fun fact that most people, because they tell us this when they call, they tell Chanel and the staff. I stayed at a very nice 5-star hotel. I didn't stay at, I don't want to throw names out here, but I didn't stay at your lower end hotel. Well, your higher end hotels actually get bed bugs more frequently, more often than your lower end. And here's the reason: your higher end hotels, people are traveling internationally, so they're coming from all over, different parts of different states. They're coming, like I said, internationally. So the chances of them bringing bed bugs in, you got people coming in for conferences, for meetings, for vacations. Smaller hotels, people are usually traveling within the state. I'm not saying they don't go outside the state, but that's one of the reasons that your bigger hotels, your Las Vegas's, there's a perfect example for you right there. San Diego, big Los Angeles, big areas, New York, because these people are coming to see this area from all over the world. So it doesn't matter where you stay, but what we're going to do is we're going to give you some tips, and Chanel knows a lot about this, of when you do stay in a hotel, what you should do. And it's kind of annoying, but I don't want to bring bed bugs home, but Chanel lets you know what she does when we go to a hotel.
So when we go to hotels, we make sure that we don't bring our suitcases in the room as soon as we get there. We kind of do a thorough inspection. We'll go in, leave the suitcases outside the door, go in the room, and we're pulling the sheets off the beds, looking at the seams of the mattresses. Just I'll put a link to a video for a thorough inspection for the hotel rooms, so that'll give you an idea of what to do. But it's so important because you don't want to get bed bugs from traveling. It's just a nightmare. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is, why do bed bugs bite? I mean, they're called bed bugs for a reason. You lay down and they like to be near their food source. So you're go on that
Yeah,
one.
they'll actually, like Chanel was saying, they'll actually stay towards the head of the bed in the beginning. And what happens is when you move around throughout the night, if anything gets exposed, an arm, a leg, then that's easy pickings. It doesn't mean they're not going to go under the sheets, but it usually starts at the headboard of a bed per se and progresses from there. So it'll go being all over the box spring if you have one, all over the mattress as the problem gets worse. And understand this: bed bugs reproduce at 7 to 10 days. Those eggs are hatching at anything over 80 degrees. So when it's a little colder, it takes a little longer, but that's about the general rule. 7 to 10, 7 to 15, you're getting a new batch of these guys, seeking out and looking for new blood meals once they cut, they're hatched.
And bed bugs don't like to be seen. So if you're starting to see them, that's the
Yeah,
problem.
very
You're
true.
probably going to be having some sort of infestation by that time, because a lot of times people don't feel the bites. They're, or they don't even see them. They may not even have a reaction to the bites. So if you're starting to see the bed bugs at this point, it might be a problem where you are going to need a serious treatment by then.
I wrote that down because I didn't even know this, but as many as 30% of people don't even react to the bites. So they show nothing. And this is a heads up to you pest control operators out there. Never diagnose somebody with bed bugs. We're not doctors. Even if you know it's bed bugs, and what are some of the signs? You professionals, they bite in a pattern. They don't kind of like bite your calf and then bite your shoulder. If they make one bite on your arm, they usually go down in a pattern. So you may know, hey, it's bed bugs, but I do my inspection before I said, hey, yeah, you're getting bed bug bites, because you don't want people coming back to you and they got mites. They got something else going on, but you just diagnosed them with bed bugs because you did your thorough inspection and you couldn't find bed bugs. That being said, that doesn't mean they don't have bed bugs. They have the bites. You can't find anything. That just means that the population is not that out of control yet. So unless you're going to spend a couple hours tearing that bed frame apart, which a thorough inspection takes, so you guys out there should be charging for this, and you homeowners, if you want to do this right, you property managers, you need to tear that apart. When we would go to the hotels, and Chanel has had experience with this, because back in the day, we used to drag her on jobs to help us out because we were short staffed. And this is when we would do the heating jobs. You have to tear that room apart so there's no cold pockets. That heat can get there and penetrate all the areas it needs to. And that takes time. That means you got to take the frame apart. You have to take the headboard apart, the footboard. You have to TP the mattress and box springs if you have both. You just got to you got to get rid of all those cold pockets. And if you don't do that, I don't care if you use chemical, I don't care if you fumigate, I don't care if you do the heating. Those three things, it doesn't matter. If you don't do a thorough takedown and tear down of that room, then you're usually not going to get all those bed bugs. So those are some of the tips that I would tell you. It doesn't matter which version you're going to use to get rid of them. Man, be thorough in that tear down and that inspection, and everything starts there, and then progress from there.
A quick note though too is when you're talking or you're wondering whether you have bed bugs or fleas, a good way, rule of thumb is normally when you have fleas, they're in the carpet and stuff. So you'll probably see more of your bites located around your ankles and your calves but when you're identifying bed bug bites, a lot of times it's going to be on your back because it's going to be where your skin touches the mattress, or the bottom or your legs in a pattern like a bite pattern. Fleas tend to be around your calves and ankles, so that'll kind of help you out if you're deciding whether you have fleas or bed bugs.
Yeah, and the other, you just reminded me of something else. If that infestation is not that bad, what will happen sometimes is people, they just all of a sudden they have blood spots on their sheets and they can't figure out why. Well, then they start putting it together with bites and things like that if they're lucky, and then realize, hey, they have bed bugs, or we'll walk them through it. And the reason they're getting that blood splatter on the sheet is when you roll over, that bed bug, this is a fun fact, they suck on you. Can I say that? They suck on you for 5 minutes. So that's a long time, but you don't feel that because they inject you first with like a numbing agent, and then they go to town. And
is that bed bugs or mosquitoes?
No, that's bed bugs. And then they balloon up. I can't think of the word I want to use, but they'll balloon up. And then what happens is if you happen to roll over when one comes off and you just happen to smash it, then that's what happens. You just smashed your blood that was in that bed bug onto your sheet. It's kind of nasty, but it's an indication of, hey, I have bed bugs because I'm getting little red spots all over my sheets. We get that a lot. In the hotels, what would happen is they just have a customer, that comes in and they've either seen one or they see something on the sheets, and then we're called in to remedy that. This is something for you apartment owners, or even if you live in an apartment or a condo that adjoins other ones. If you only treat the room, like say it's your unit, and you only treat that unit, you're doing yourself a disservice. So if you only treat, and I know you can't treat other people's unit, but if you don't get a hold of the property management company and they do it the right way, there's just a chance you're going to get them back because they could be coming from the outlets through the walls in the other units. So even when we would do a heat treatment at a hotel, we would always chemically treat the room above, below, and beside, right and left if it had it. And that's the only way that you could give, some assurance that you've taken care of the problem. Now, heat treatments, I'm going to go back to that real quick. If you guys are wondering, heat treatments typically run anywhere from $1.25, and this varies. It's all over the map depending on where you live. $1.25 to $2 a square foot. That's how they charge you. Now, fumigation runs by the cubic foot, but if you do the math on them, they run pretty close together price-wise. So it's just what you're more comfortable with. Fumigation, understand that you have to be out of the house for a minimum 3 days. They have a lot of issues now with houses being ransacked and vandalized when they see the tent over the house, because these guys are going in. They're even going in with respirators on now. They're getting smart, and they're cleaning them out. So they're actually, fumigation companies are actually hiring security guards to sit out front of some of these houses to protect the homes, because I've heard case after case that people come back and they no longer have bed bugs or termites, but they no longer have anything in the house either. So not exactly a win-win on that one. But heating is very effective. I brought a couple things I just wanted to show you guys. I'm going to do it quick because I don't want to bore you, but when we go into a heat treatment, we take giant propane heaters. These are 500,000 watt, at least ours are, BTU heaters. So it is cooking this house. So once we set these heaters up, we set probes all over the unit, the house, whatever. We have them inside box springs. We have them inside outlets. They're just wherever, so we can get different readings all the time. Now, and then we hook them up to this thing. It's called a T-GAM. Don't ask me what a T-GAM stands for, but what it does, it tells me how hot it is. That's all I need to know. So we plug the probe in to this one, these long 100-foot wires, and I read that one. Then I unplug it. I plug another one in that was in a box spring. I read that one. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the heat in there to 140 everywhere. It can't just be 140 in a mattress and 115 over here, because that's not hot enough. That's a cold pocket. So once we get the whole unit, not just the ambient air, to 140, then we're done. And let me backtrack. We let that ride at 140 for about an hour, hour and a half, and then we shut our heaters off and we're done. Throughout that time, we're in there shifting stuff around and moving stuff around. The reason I mention this, if you hire a heating company, you need to make sure that they're going to be that thorough, that they have that kind of equipment to read that. If they just go in and pop in a propane heater, and they have electric heaters now that are actually fantastic, but if they prop that in, they go, hey, we'll be back in the morning, and you're good to go, and they're not reading temps, and there's not somebody staying there to read, I don't know, man, I'd be leery. We always, we were constantly reading this stuff every 30 minutes. We had these probes. These would go into the end of our heaters to tell us how much the heater was pumping out. They're high tech now. They got digital ones. But on top of that, I don't even know if this thing's charged up, but this is our FLIR camera. And these are very high tech cameras. This one's probably 20 years old, and it works as good as the new ones. A lot of military and law enforcement, the helicopters have these on them. So what they do is they basically just detect the heat, the hot, the cold pockets. So anywhere we didn't have I got this on Chanel right now, and it hasn't picked up readings yet, but basically you see the hot, that's her mouth. I mean, you're getting the hot, the cold, her teeth, and now it just picked up because the camera's starting to read, but I got 98, 93s, whatever it may be. But we use this a lot to scan the whole unit in general. So just make sure the company that you're hiring, they know about this. And these are questions you can ask now. Do your research. You'll find out, to do heat jobs the right way, you have to be thorough, and they take time. Heat jobs take about 6 to 8 hours to do, sometimes longer. Depends on how
We also have a really good video that I'm going to put the link to, of a heat job that Craig had done several years ago, and it'll show how bad an infestation can get if you let it get that far. So
this one was crazy. Remember that?
Yeah, it was really bad. Really bad. It's disgusting. So that, you definitely want to take care of bed bugs when you first see them, or when you're first noticing something.
This bed bug job was so bad that I remember talking to the guy, and he said that he would just roll over and then get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom and shake them off, and they would just fall on the ground. And as we did this inspection, they were in the bathroom. They were everywhere. I mean, to get bed bugs in bathrooms, kitchens, areas like that, that's a bad infestation. That normally does not happen. It's bedrooms, it's front rooms because of couches, maybe, areas like that. And you got to be careful. This kind of goes back to what we said of, if you buy used furniture, and you bring that home and it has one bed bug on it, that one bed bug can turn into hundreds of bed bugs in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's gross.
Huh?
It's bad.
Yeah. These people just, they sit on the couch, they take it to the bedroom. That's how you transport them, on the clothes, things like that. What about you tell people with the wash and drying of the clothes?
Yeah. So if you think that maybe you've been somewhere that you may have had bed bugs, or just take your clothes off and put it in the dryer and let it run for about an hour. Your dryers get hot enough to kill anything. So that's probably a good, hopefully that takes care of it. You don't have to worry about it, but you definitely want to do that as a precaution. So
it reminds me that coming home from inspections, Chanel used to make me get naked in the garage and leave all my clothes in the garage. It was the funniest thing. I'm just walking in the house naked, hoping the kids aren't home at the time, but it was just hilarious because we did not want to bring those bed bugs in the house. And she mentioned she's going to put, we have a lot of videos online of actual jobs we've done. And I think the one she's talking about is called Worst Bed Bug Job Ever. And it's bad. It's a bad one. But people, they'll see me there. And at the time, I think I was bald at the time, had my head shaved. So it won't look like this now. And I'm in there in shorts and I think a t-shirt or a polo. And we would get comments all the time that this guy's bringing the bed bugs home, and how could he do that in shorts and a t-shirt or polo, whatever I was in. I don't remember. But once that gets to a certain degree, if those bed bugs were to expose themselves, like as you know what I mean, not getting naked, but showing themselves to me, they would instantly die because of the heat. So when we go in there, we're basically, I mean, you instantly start dripping. It's 140 degrees, sometimes hotter, and your pores open up. It's the best facial you've ever had in your life. I mean, it's insane. But the bed bugs cannot get on me and then come home with me. They can't get in my shoes and come home with me because it's too hot in there. And we're in there for too long with that FLIR camera I showed you.
There's
And
one part of the video where you show he lifts up, I think it was like a pillow or something, and
oh, that's right.
there's
Yeah.
bed bugs running around right there, but within like 5 seconds of being exposed to the heat, they just die.
What Chanel's talking about, that's what we wanted to show. Wanted to show people that once those bed bugs, that was a cold pocket. They were in between. I think it was in between the mattress and the box springs.
No, it's like a pillow, I think.
Was
I don't know, whatever.
Well, we lifted it up and we exposed them, and there were a bunch of them. But as soon as they got exposed, I had the FLIR camera on them, and I had whoever was filming. I said, zoom in on this, and you can literally just watch them run around in a circle. They can't take off because there's nowhere to go. They go left, it's hot. They go right, it's hot. So they literally just run around for, I don't know how long it was, but it was a couple seconds, and I can't remember what the temp was. It was probably over 115 at least, and then they just stop, and it's that fast. So if they were to do that to me, I'm already out there, and my body's already hot. They'd have to crawl up on me, and by the time they even attempted to crawl on me across the floor, they'd die. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to happen. So that's kind of a myth. People think you're going to take them home and yada, whatever. But we actually, what Chanel said reminds me of a hotel room we did, and we collected a bunch of live ones. You get bored on this job, so we collected probably about 15 to 20 bed bugs, and we put them in a Ziploc bag, and then we stuck them in the sink in the bathroom, which is like one of the coldest spots. It's going to take the longest to heat up, and we ran the heater for a couple hours, and we kept going in and checking, and once it got to like 115 in the bathroom, they started to die off. So you could say, oh, they were in the Ziploc bag and it was hotter in there too. Okay, well, very well, maybe. But it's how fast they die off is crazy. You don't need the 140, but the 140, the 120 is the kill zone for sure. But anything past that 140, man, it's lethal. They're dead. And like I said, these were dying at 115 or something like that. I think we have footage of that one too. But anyway, Chanel will post some of these videos online for you guys to check out. But let's talk about chemicals. What the things we use, we sell now at howtopest.com, because we're not going to sell you the big heaters. This is for the DIYer that, hey, you don't want to pay for it, you can't afford to pay for it, and you think you're going to do your due diligence and you're going to take care of it. We want to help walk you through that and how to do that.
And the good news is a lot of our pesticides are labeled for bed bugs. So if they are resistant to one, you could try something else. But for the most part, you can be really successful if you do your due diligence. And we have several videos of how to actually do a treatment on there. We also have it written out on our how-to instructions page, how to get rid of bed bugs. So I think the key to getting rid of bed bugs is being extra thorough, because the places that you think that bed bugs can't get, they can get behind the little light fixture. What are those socket fixtures or whatever? Yeah. If there's any gap, they can get back there. They can get behind picture frames, the ones that are on the walls. They can get anywhere under the foot of the bed. Underneath, in between the carpet, they could be under there. So it's very tedious, but you can do it.
Yeah, we've said that already, that you have to be thorough. Now, if you hire a company to come out there, a company that's going to do this right chemically, they're going to treat it at a minimum of 2 times, because they want a follow-up treatment to make sure they're getting all the nymphs and anything else that may have hatched, not just the adults. So if your company says, hey, I'm a one and done, then you probably don't want that company. That'd be my recommendation to you. And companies that do bed bugs, they're a specialty. So it's not about, hey, I can just come out and spray what I spray because it's labeled for bed bugs, the same stuff I spray around your house on a bi-monthly basis, and it's going to take care of them. I wouldn't use that company. That's my personal opinion. You want those companies that they got a track record. They know what they're doing, because bed bugs, it's just not your norm. It's not your ant, your spider, and things like that. So, like Chino said, we have the chemicals that we recommend. Um, One of the go-to chemicals right now, and has been for a long time, is Crossfire.
Mm-hmm.
Crossfire is a legitimate chemical. We use it. I have used it for many, many years. Comes in a concentrate, also comes in a aerosol. So it's good to go. It's ready to go. And the
We
aerosol,
also, well, I was just
I
going
feel
to
like you're going to
say,
touch on this right
no, no,
now.
no, no. I was just going to say that we also have packs, bed bug packs on the
Oh, yeah.
site. So it'll have everything that you need. If you have a house or apartment under 1,000 square foot, we have the 1K pack, to up to 2,000 square feet, the 2K pack that'll treat, and up to 3,000 square feet. So you can get as many packs as you need, but it's all there.
I just realized I don't think we touched on what to do with your luggage when you go to a hotel room, and the mistake people make with their luggage.
Oh, yeah. Don't put your luggage on the bed. Never put your luggage on the bed.
And I'm guilty of that. Before I knew anything about bed bugs, I mean, who doesn't? I mean, there's people smarter than me, obviously, that don't do it. But how many use the luggage rack? I've never used a luggage rack.
Utilize the luggage rack.
I mean, you don't want your luggage on the bed, because they come from the bed into the suitcase. You take them home. But this is going to segue me into something else I just thought of. So another chemical like Crossfire is bedlam. Both these are fantastic products, and they're just made for rotation. You don't want this. Goes back to the chemical resistant. So you pick your one of choice and you flip over. Now people are going to go, resistant. What am I treating the same place all the time for bed bugs? Well, no, you're not. But you don't know. Let's say you're doing a couple units. I mean, you may have your bedlam, you may have your Crossfire, mix it up. I don't know. You can go both routes with it. We use a lot of Crossfire. We use a lot of bedlam, and the bedlam has on the old label, and I don't know if it's on their new label, Bedlam Plus, but you could actually treat the whole mattress. So that was a plus for bedlam. Crossfire, you had to stay on the seams of the mattress. You could do the box spring and do whatever you want, but that was a plus to allow you to not only go in the creases around the mattress, but to go on top of the mattress and the bottom as well, let it dry, and then it was perfectly safe to put your sheets and bedding back on the bed. But we have, I'm kind of all over the map on you in this one, but things are popping into my head. We have customers that travel a lot, and they'll order a couple cans. Some of them order a case of whatever their choice is, Crossfire or Bedlam, the aerosols, because they treat their luggage. So now if their luggage picks up anything when they travel, it's going to die off before it gets back to their house. So they'll do a thorough spray of the interior pockets, inside of the suitcase, outside, and then they'll let it dry, then pack their clothes in it.
Because typically a spray has a residual of what? Like,
man, I don't know what the residual.
Day?
It's got a 30-day minimum, but like pesticides do, a lot of them have a 30-day. Some go longer and have a 60-day, 90-day. Nothing's going past 90 days that I'm aware of. But they're getting beat on by the elements, by the sunlight, by the sprinklers, water, rain, whatever it is. Your suitcase isn't. So it's the same concept of when you treat inside. I'm talking about for general insecticides for bugs. Inside doesn't have to be done all the time, because that chemical holds up longer, because nothing's beaten on unless you mop it away. But that's the same thing when they treat their luggage. It's going to last for quite a while, but they have a can that can retreat it every time they travel, if need be. There's retreatment intervals, but I think most of them on the Crossfire stuff are 7 to 10 days or something like that. So I don't know if I said this, but even if you do this yourself, and like I said, that's what we're here to help you with, guide you in the right direction of what chemical you need and the route to do it. And we have many videos on how to do it that we filmed, whether it be a hotel room or a house. We've showed you how to do it, the things we've talked about now. You have to retreat. So you have to be thorough. If you're not going to be thorough and you're kind of, for lack of better words, half-assing it, and you're just not, you're not that person, then you need to hire. And then you just need to make sure they are the person that's going to do that thorough treatment that we're talking about. And if they're not, then you need to find the company that is. But if you are, we're here to help you. We're happy to call in. I talk to people personally, so I'm happy to talk to you, walk you through your situation. Every situation is different, and tell you things you might not be thinking about, and see if there's any way I can guide you to get you bed bug free. Let me just touch my notes, and I don't know if you touched on everything you wanted to.
I'm good.
I just wanted to, I wrote a couple things down, and I think we touched on all of them. Kind of a fun fact. I knew this, but I've been reminded of it. People say, well, where do bed bugs come from? Well, they actually originated back with cave dwellers and with the bats. So that's what happened. And then they just came over from there. I think it was Europe. Don't quote me on this. I could be wrong, you experts out there. But that's how it came over to America. Okay, because they didn't originate in America. I don't have this in my notes, but there's 2 different types of bed bugs that we typically deal with, and I cannot think for the life of me the name of the other bed bug right now. I want to say Caribbean. I'm not even going to get into it, but most of the bed bugs. Let's move on because I'm drawing a blank and can't think of the name of that bed bug. Know that they can survive in nearly freezing temperatures. You know what we didn't touch on? There's another way that cryonite is another. It seems like it's kind of faded out. But it's a way that they would go in and they would do kind of like a freezing treatment with a little machine that it would get things down to temp. They'd run it along baseboards. The problem is with the cryonite, it's even, in my opinion, and there might be those of you out there that argue differently on this, it's very hard to get that into every nook and cranny, like just to know that you got everything is what I'm getting at. So I don't know anybody that's doing cryonite. It came out years ago. So I don't know if it's faded off. Those of you that use it, let me know. I could be wrong. Maybe there's new methods of how they use it. Also, the heat jobs, back to that, they're turning your house into an oven, like a convection oven. So on top of everything I already explained to you, we have high volume fans that are placed all throughout the house. And what they're doing is they're circulating that around like a convection oven. So it's just pushing the air everywhere. So when you go into one, if you watch any of the videos, you'll see it's very loud. And it's just blowing everything around in that house, including the bed bugs that expose themselves. Other than that, I think we covered all the stuff. There's other chemicals that are working well on bed bugs right now. Apprehend is another one. So it's not that you're only stuck to these 2 that we just talked about.
No, there's you. I mean, you could just go to the site and type in bed bugs, and every chemical that's labeled for bed bugs will be there.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry about that.
And in all reality, like Chanel said, the label tells you everything it's labeled for, and most are labeled for bed bugs. Would they be my choice for bed bugs? No, but they are labeled because it's a pesticide. It's going to kill a non-resistant bed bug. And other than that,
I think we
that
covered it.
That was good bourbon.
Yep.
This is from our other bottle. We haven't even cracked open this bottle yet. Still got the tape on it, but we'll preview another bourbon next time. It's fun to drink and talk about the bugs. Makes it a little less boring, I guess. But we're excited. It's our first episode of Bourbon and Bugs, and love doing it with my beautiful wife Shanoa here. She's pretty much the brains of our operation, anyways. And if you want to know anything about
and the looks,
if you don't know anything about the chemicals, I mean, she knows more about some of the chemicals than I do. Sometimes I go to her and ask because, I mean, like our site, we have hundreds and hundreds of different pesticides. But let us know if there's anything we can help you with. Reach out to us.
Yep. It was a good time. All right.
About it.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. And please subscribe and like and share and all that good stuff.
Well, like Shano said, real quick, we're going to try to do these once a week for you. And we're still going to put out our product videos, the ones I do explain how to use the products. But this is kind of where we just want to give you some fun facts about whatever, insect bug we're talking about at the time, and see if it touches on anything that you were thinking, hey, I was wondering about that. And if not, reach out to us and we'll answer it that way. That's it.
That's it.
Thanks for watching.
Guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Take care.